The rain fell hard on Seoul's glass towers that Tuesday night. Hannah pressed her face against the window of her family's apartment on the 63rd floor. City lights blurred into streaks of gold and blue through the water drops. She had been waiting for 3 years, for months, and 16 days. Not that anyone believed her anymore. "Hannah, dinner's ready," her mother Mira called from the kitchen. The smell of kimchi stew filled the air, but Hannah's stomach felt too tight to eat. "Coming," she replied, but stayed by the window. Something felt different tonight. The air seemed to buzz with energy, making her skin tingle. Dr. Kung looked up from his tablet when Hannah finally sat down. Her father's eyes were tired behind his glasses. He worked too much these days, just like her mother. They both did research for the government, something about energy and space. They never talked about their work anymore, not since June disappeared. "How was school today?" Mira asked, serving rice into 3 bowls. She always made 3 bowls, even though only 2 people ate dinner now. The 3rd bowl sat empty at June's old place. "Fine," Hannah said. She didn't mention that her classmates still whispered about her family. Everyone knew about the accident. 3 years ago, everyone knew her brother was dead. Everyone except Hannah. The news played on the wall screen while they ate. The reporter talked about the new buildings going up in Gangnam, the latest cyber enhancements available for purchase. In tomorrow's weather, normal things, safe things. Then the screen flashed red. "We interrupt this program for breaking news," the reporter said. Her voice was tight with fear. "A large unidentified object has crashed in the Hongdae district. Military forces are responding. To the scene, citizens are advised to stay indoors." The camera switched to shaky footage from a news helicopter. Smoke rose from a crater in the middle of a busy street. Cars were scattered around like toys. Streetlights flickered on and off, and in the center of it all, something moved. "Turn it off," Kung said quickly. "No, wait." Hannah leaned forward. The camera zoomed in, trying to focus through the smoke, and rain, the thing that climbed out of the crater, was enormous. It stood at least 12 feet tall, with a body that seemed to be made of crystal and metal. Its skin reflected the streetlights like a prism, throwing rainbow colors in all directions. It had 4 arms, each ending in hands that looked almost human but too large. Its head was shaped wrong, stretched tall with too many angles, but it was the way it moved that made Hannah's heart stop. The creature stood in the crater for a long moment, turning its head left and right. It was looking for something. The movement was careful, deliberate. It reminded Hannah of someone she knew very well. "June," she whispered. "What did you say?" Mira's chopsticks clattered to her bowl. "That's June," Hannah said louder. "Look at the way it moves. Look at how it's searching. That's my brother." Kyun grabbed the remote and turned off the screen. "Hannah, stop this. We've talked about this before. You haven't talked? You've just told me to stop believing." Hannah stood up from the table. "But I know what I saw. That thing moves just like June did when he was looking for his lost things." "Your brother is dead," Mira said. Her voice was barely above a whisper. "The experiment failed. There was an explosion." "We told you this. You told me a lie," Hannah said. "You've been lying for 3 years." She ran to her room before her parents could stop her. The news was probably on every channel now. She turned on her personal screen and flipped through the stations. Each one showed the same scene from different angles. Military trucks surrounded the crater. Soldiers in full armor pointed weapons at the creature, but the creature wasn't attacking. It stood perfectly still, almost like it was waiting for something. Or someone? Hannah watched for 2 hours as the standoff continued. The creature never moved to hurt anyone. When a scared civilian ran too close, it actually stepped back to give them space. The soldiers kept shouting orders, but the creature just kept looking around the area, searching at midnight. Her parents knocked on her door. "Hannah, we need to talk," Kyun said. "I'm listening," she replied, not opening the door. "Your brother volunteered for a dangerous program," Mira said. "We thought we were helping humanity. The experiment was supposed to make humans stronger, better. Able to defend Earth?" "Defend Earth from what?" Hannah asked. There was a long pause. "We can't tell you that," Kyung said. "It's classified." "But the experiment failed," Mira continued. "There was an accident." June and the other volunteers were killed. We had the death certificates. We buried his body. Hannah opened her door. Her parents stood in the hallway, looking older than their years. "What body?" she asked. "You buried an empty coffin." "I know because I snuck into the funeral home the night before the service." Her parents stared at her. "You did what?" June asked. "I had to see for myself," Hannah said. "The coffin was empty. You buried nothing. Which means June is alive somewhere." "Even if he was alive," Mira said, "he wouldn't be the same person. The experiment changed people. It made them into something else. Something like that creature." "On the news?" Hannah asked. Neither parent answered, but their faces told her everything she needed to know. "I'm going to find him," Hannah said. "You are not leaving this apartment," Kuhn said firmly. "The military has the area locked down. It's dangerous." "Then I'll wait until they're gone," Hannah said. "I'll wait as long as it takes." She closed her door and locked it. Outside, the rain continued to fall on Seoul. Somewhere in the city, her brother was alive. She was sure of it now. Hannah packed a small bag with water, some food, and her brother's old jacket. She had kept it in her closet for 3 years, hoping he would come back for it. Now, she would bring it to him. The news reported that the creature had moved to an abandoned construction site in Hongdae. It wasn't hurting anyone, but the military kept their distance. They seemed afraid of it, but Hannah wasn't afraid. She waited until her parents went to bed. Then she quietly opened her window and climbed onto the fire escape. The city spread out below her like a circuit board, all lights and movement. Somewhere in that maze of streets and buildings, her brother was, waiting. The rain had stopped, but the air still felt electric. As Hannah climbed down toward the ground, she whispered the same words she had said every night for 3 years. "I'm coming, June. I'm coming to bring you home." The creature in Hongdae suddenly stopped moving and turned toward her direction as if it had heard her voice across the city. In that moment, Hannah knew she was right. She had always been right. Her brother was alive, and tomorrow she would prove it to everyone. The morning sun cast long shadows across the empty construction site. Hannah crouched behind a pile of concrete blocks, watching the creature that she knew was her brother. The military had pulled back during the night, but they still had the area surrounded. She'd crawled through storm drains and climbed over fences to get this close. The creature sat in the middle of the site, perfectly still. Its crystal skin caught the sunlight and threw rainbow patterns on the ground around it. Close, Hannah could see that it was even bigger than she had thought. Its forearms rested on its knees, and its strange head was tilted down as if it was thinking. "June," she whispered. The creature's head snapped up instantly. It turned toward her hiding spot and made a sound that was almost like a question. Quite human, but not animal either. Hannah's heart pounded. She stood up slowly, keeping her hands visible. "It's me," she said softly. "It's Hannah." The creature stared at her for a long moment. Then it made another sound, softer this time. "Sad." "I knew you were alive," Hannah said, taking a small step forward. "I never stopped believing." The creature tilted its head, just like June used to do when he was confused. The movement was so familiar that tears started running down Hannah's face. "Dude, you remember when we were kids?" she asked. "You used to hide my toys and make me find them? You always hid them in the same 3 places? Under your bed, behind the couch, or in the kitchen cabinet?" The creature made a soft noise that might have been a laugh. "And you always ate my ice cream when Mom and Dad weren't looking," Hannah continued. "You thought I didn't know, but I always knew." You got that guilty look on your face. The creature's posture changed. It leaned forward slightly, as if it was trying to remember something. "I brought your jacket," Hannah said, pulling the old blue jacket from her bag. "The one you wore to your graduation. You said it was lucky." She held it out toward the creature. Very slowly, one of its large hands reached out and touched the fabric. The touch was gentle, careful not to tear it. "I kept it safe for you, Hannah. Said I knew you'd come back for it." The creature held the jacket for a long time, then pressed it against its chest. The sound it made was definitely crying now. "I'm sorry they did this to you," Hannah whispered. "Right. I'm sorry I wasn't there too." "Stop them." The creature looked up at her and made a series of different sounds. It was trying to communicate, but the words wouldn't come out right. Hannah listened carefully, trying to understand. "You're trying to tell me something," she said. "About the experiment?" "About what happened to you." The creature nodded. It pointed to itself, then to the sky, then back to itself. It repeated the motion several times. "Something came from the sky," Hannah said. "Something that changed you." The creature nodded again. It held up 4 fingers, then pointed to different directions around the city. 4 of them, Hannah said. 4 things from the sky? Are they like you now? Are there others like you? The creature made an urgent sound and shook its head. It pointed to itself, then made a gentle gesture toward Hannah. Then it pointed in the other directions and made harsh, violent movements. "You're different from the others," Hannah realized. "You're still you inside, but they're not. They're dangerous." Eh? Creature nodded sadly, pointed to its head, then to its heart, then to Hannah. The meaning was clear. It still had its mind and feelings because it remembered her. "The others don't remember who they used to be," Hannah said. "But you do, because you never stopped thinking about your family." The creature reached out with one hand and very gently touched Hannah's cheek. The touch was warm and careful, just like when June used to comfort her after nightmares. "I missed you so much," Hannah said, leaning into the touch. "Everyone said you were dead, but I knew they were wrong. I knew you were somewhere, trying to come home." The creature made a sound that was almost like saying her name. "It's not quite right, but close." "Enough. We need to find a way to prove to everyone that you're still you," Hannah said. "They think you're just a monster, but you're not. You're my brother." The creature stood up, towering over her. For a moment, Hannah felt small and scared. Then the creature very carefully sat back down, making itself smaller so she wouldn't be afraid. "You're protecting me," she said. "Even like this, you're still protecting your little sister." They spent the next hour working out a simple communication system. One sound for yes, another for no. Hand signals for basic ideas. The creature was smart, learning quickly. It was definitely still June inside that strange body. "Can you write?" Hannah asked. The creature picked up a piece of broken concrete and carefully scratched letters into the ground. The letters were shaky and hard to read, but they spelled out. "Hannah?" "Yes," she said, crying again. "That's me. I'm Hannah and you're June, and we're brother and sister, and nothing will ever change that." The creature wrote something else. This time it took longer, and some of the letters were backwards, but Hannah could read it. "Sorry, you don't need to be sorry," she said. "This isn't your fault. You were trying to help people. You were trying to save everyone." The creature wrote one more word. "Danger." "I know it's dangerous," Hannah said, "but I don't care. I'm not leaving you alone anymore." The creature shook its head and pointed toward the city. It wrote, "Coming in the dirt." "Coming?" Hannah asked. The creature looked up at the sky and made a sound full of fear. It drew a circle in the dirt, then drew many smaller circles around it. Then it drew lines from the small circles to the big one. "Ships," Hannah said. "Ships coming to Earth. That's why they made you like this, isn't it? To fight something that's coming from space." The creature nodded. It held up its hands and showed her 10 fingers, then 10 more, then 10 more. 30. 30 days, Hannah said. "They'll be here in 30 days. The creature wrote, "Need help in the dirt." "You need help to fight them," Hannah said. "But nobody believes you exist. Nobody believes you're still human inside." The creature pointed to her, then to itself, then drew a line connecting them. "You need me to help you talk to them," Hannah said. "You need me to prove that you're still my brother?" The creature nodded. "Then that's what we'll do," Hannah said. "We'll make them believe. We'll make them understand that you're not the enemy. You're the solution." The creature picked up June's jacket and held it out to her. When she took it, the creature touched her hand gently. The touch said everything that words couldn't. "Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. I'm scared. I need you." "I'm not going anywhere," Hannah said. "We're going to face this together, just like we always did." As the sun climbed higher in the sky, Hannah knew that everything was about to change. The easy part was over. Now came the hard part. Convincing the world that monsters could still be human. And that sometimes the thing that looked most dangerous was actually trying to save everyone. But first, she had to get home without being caught by the military. She had to figure out how to explain to her parents that their son was alive. that he needed their help to save the world. Hannah climbed back through her bedroom window just as the sun was setting. Her parents were waiting for her. Dr. Kuhn sat on her bed with his head in his hands. Dr. Myra stood by the window, her face red from crying. "Where have you been?" Myra asked. Her voice was shaky. "I went to see him," Hannah said. She was too tired to lie anymore. "I went to see June." "Hannah, please," Kuhn said. "You're going to get yourself killed. That thing is dangerous." "Name is June," Hannah said firmly. "And he's not dangerous. He's scared and alone and trying to warn us about something terrible." She told them everything. How June had recognized her voice, how he remembered their childhood, how he could still write her name, how he had kept his jacket close to his heart. "He's still our son," Hannah said. "He's still your son, and he needs your help." Her parents looked at each other. Something passed between them, some silent conversation that Hannah couldn't understand. "Show us," Mira said finally. Hannah asked. "Show us proof that it's really him," Kuhn said. "If you're right, we need to know. If you're wrong, we need to stop this before you get hurt." The next morning, they drove to the construction site. Hannah had called her best friend Nari the night before, asking her to meet them there. Nari thought Hannah had lost her mind, but she came anyway. The military had set up a larger perimeter overnight. News trucks lined the streets. Porters spoke into cameras, telling the world about Soul's monster. But Hannah and her family knew the back way through the old subway tunnels. They emerged from a maintenance hatch inside the construction site. June was exactly where Hannah had left him, sitting quietly in the center of the area. When he saw Hannah, he made his happy sound and stood up. "Oh my God," Nari whispered. "It's huge." "June," Hannah called. "I brought Mom and Dad to see you." The creature turned toward Kyung and Mira. For a long moment, nobody moved. Then June took a careful step forward and made a soft, questioning sound. "He's asking if you remember him," Hannah said. Mira started crying. "His eyes," she whispered. "Oh, they're still the same color. They're still June's eyes." Kyung walked closer, his hands shaking. "Son," he said, "is it really you?" June knelt down, so he was closer to his father's height. He reached out with one large hand and very gently touched Kyung's face. The touch was exactly like the hugs he used to give when he was human. "I'm sorry," Kyung said, tears streaming down his face. "I'm so sorry we let them do this to you." "Tell us what happened," Hannah said. "Tell us the truth about the experiment." Kyung and Mira looked at each other again. Then Kyung pulled out a small device from his pocket. It looked like a tablet, but thinner and more advanced. "This contains classified files," he said. "We could go to prison for showing you this." "Don't care about prison," Hannah said. "I care about the truth." Kyung activated the device. Images and documents filled the screen. Hannah saw photos of space, of strange ships, of creatures that looked nothing like humans. "5 years ago we detected them," Mira said. "Ships coming toward Earth from another galaxy. We're still far away, but our computers calculated they would arrive in 8 years. The ships were huge," Kyung continued. "Each one was the size of a city, and there were dozens of them." "What did they want?" Nari asked. "To take everything," Mira said. "Our planet, our resources, our people. The few signals we managed to decode made it clear they see us as insects to be stepped on. So the government started the enhancement program," Kyung said. "We needed soldiers who could fight beings that were stronger, faster, and more advanced than any human." "You volunteered, June," Hannah said. "It wasn't a question. We asked for volunteers from military families," Mira said. "Young people who were strong and healthy." June said he wanted to help protect Earth. He said he wanted to protect his little sister. "What went wrong?" Hannah asked. "The process was supposed to change their bodies, but leave their minds intact," Kyung explained. "But something in the alien technology we used affected their brains. Most of the volunteers lost their humanity. They became creatures that only knew how to fight and kill." "But not all of them," Hannah said, looking at June. "No," Mira said. "A few kept their human minds. We think it was because they had something strong to hold on to, something that mattered more than the physical changes." "Love," Nari said quietly. They held on to love. June made his agreeing sound and pointed to Hannah. Then he pointed to his parents. Then he touched his chest where his heart would be. How many others are there? Hannah asked. I don't know, Kyung said. The program was shut down after the first group of volunteers. Government decided the enhanced were too dangerous to control, so they told everyone we were dead, Hannah said. It was easier than explaining, Mira said. People were already scared of the idea of human enhancement. If they knew there were enhanced individuals out there, there would be panic. But now the creatures from space are coming, Hannah said. The ones you were trying to prepare for. Yes, Kyun said. In 29 days, according to our latest calculations, and you're going to need the enhanced to fight them, Nari said. We're going to need everyone, Mira said. Enhanced and normal humans working together. But first, we need to find the other enhanced who kept their humanity. How do we do that? Hannah asked. June stood up and walked to a clear patch of ground. He began drawing in the dirt with his finger. The drawing was rough, but Hannah could make out what looked like a map of Seoul. You know where they are? She said. June nodded, pointed 2 different spots on his map, then held up fingers, 3 fingers. Then he pointed to other cities and held up more fingers. There are 3 others. In Seoul, Hannah said, and more in other cities. We need to find them before the government does, Kyung said. The military wants to capture all the enhanced and use them as weapons. They don't care if they're still human inside. But if we can prove that some of them are still human, Nari said, maybe we can change how people think about them. What we have to do, Hannah said. We have to show the world that the enhanced aren't monsters. They're heroes who sacrificed everything to protect everyone else. It won't be easy, Mira said. People are afraid. Fear makes people do stupid things. Then, we'll have to be brave enough for everyone, Hannah said. We'll have to show them that love is stronger than fear. June made a sound that was almost like applause. He pointed to his family, then to himself, then to the sky. The meaning was clear. Together, they would face whatever was coming from the stars. We need to contact Director Wu, Kyung said. He's in charge of the enhanced program. If anyone can help us, it's him. Will he listen? Hannah asked. He'll have to, Mira said. Because in 29 days, the real war begins. We're going to need every enhanced human we can find. As they prepared to leave the construction site, Hannah looked back at her brother. He was standing tall again, looking up at the sky. She knew he was thinking about the ships that were coming and the battle that would decide Earth's future. We'll figure this out, she told him. We'll find the others and we'll make everyone understand. You're not alone anymore. June looked down at her and made his gentle sound. Then he pointed to his heart, then to hers. The bond between them was stronger than any alien technology. It was stronger than fear, stronger than change, stronger than anything the universe could throw at them. They were family. And family always found a way to fight together. Director Wu's office was on the top floor of a black glass building in downtown Seoul. Hannah had never been in a place that felt so serious and cold. The man behind the desk was thin and wore expensive glasses. His face showed no emotion when Dr. Kyung and Dr. Mira walked in with their daughter. You brought a child to a classified meeting, Director Wu said. His voice was flat and sharp. She's the only one who can communicate with the enhanced, Kyung said. Without her, we have no way to reach them. The enhanced are weapons, Wu said. They don't need to be reached. They need to be controlled. They're people, Hannah said. They're people who gave up everything to protect us. Director Wu looked at her like she was a bug on his desk. People don't have crystal skin and 4 arms. People don't tear apart military vehicles with their bare hands. My brother does, Hannah said. But he's still my brother. He still loves his family. He still wants to protect innocent people. Your brother is dead, Wu said. What's left is a biological weapon created by alien technology. Then let me prove you wrong, Hannah said. She was surprised by how calm her voice sounded. Let me show you that he's still human. Wu leaned back in his chair. You have 25 days until the invasion fleet arrives. If you can prove that any of the enhanced are still capable of human thought and emotion, I'll consider changing our approach. And if we can't prove it, Mira asked, then we use them as weapons until they break, Wu said. Whatever it takes to defend Earth. That afternoon, Hannah stood in the middle of a military training ground. Soldiers surrounded the area, their weapons pointed at June. He knelt in the center, his hands on his knees, trying to look as peaceful as possible. Show them, Hannah said quietly. Show them you're still you. June stood up slowly. The soldiers tensed, but he didn't move toward them. Instead, he walked to a table that had been set up with various objects: a book, a toy car, a piece of fruit, a photograph. He picked up the photograph first. It was a picture of him and Hannah from 2 years before the experiment. He was wearing his graduation cap and grinning at the camera. Hannah was making a silly face beside him. June held the photograph gently, like it was made of glass. He pointed to the boy in the picture, then to himself, then to Hannah. The meaning was clear. That's him, Hannah said to the watching soldiers. That's my brother. Next, June picked up the book. It was a collection of Korean poetry, the same book he had loved to read before the experiment. He opened it carefully and found a specific page. His finger traced the words and he made soft sounds that were almost like reading aloud. He's trying to recite his favorite poem, Hannah said. The one about finding your way home. The soldiers were watching now, really watching. Some of them lowered their weapons slightly. June picked up the toy car next. It was red, just like the one he had owned as a child. He rolled it back and forth on the table, making the same vrooming sounds he used to make when they played together. He remembers being a kid, Hannah said. He remembers playing with toys and being silly and having fun. Finally, June picked up the piece of fruit. It was an apple, red and shiny. He looked at it for a long moment, then very carefully took a small bite. His strange face scrunched up and he made a sound that was clearly displeasured. He never liked apples, Hannah said, laughing despite the seriousness of the situation. Even as a kid, he hated apples. He always said they were too sour. Some of the soldiers were smiling now. One of them, a young woman with sergeant stripes, stepped forward. Can he understand us when we talk? She asked. Try talking to him, Hannah said. The sergeant looked at June. My name is Sergeant Kim. Can you understand me? June nodded and made his yes sound. Then he pointed to the sergeant and made questioning sounds. He's asking what your name is, Hannah said. Kim Minji, the sergeant said. June carefully wrote Minji in the dirt with his finger. His handwriting was shaky, but readable. He's trying to be polite, Hannah said. He's trying to remember your name because that's what people do when they meet someone new. More soldiers stepped forward. They asked June simple questions, and he answered as best he could. He showed them that he could count, that he could remember faces, that he could even draw simple pictures. This is impossible, Director Wu said. He'd arrived to watch the demonstration. Alien technology should have destroyed his human consciousness. Maybe it did destroy part of it, Hannah said. But the important parts are still there. The parts that make him who he is. We need to find the others, Sergeant Kim said. If there are more like him, we need to find them before the invasion. He knows where they are, Hannah said. Don't you, June? June nodded. He drew a rough map in the dirt, marking 3 locations in Seoul. Then he drew symbols that looked like people, but with extra arms and strange shapes. 3 others in the city, Hannah said. But they might not be like him. They might have lost more of their humanity. We'll find them, Director Wu said. And we'll test them the same way we tested your brother. Over the next week, they found the other enhanced in Seoul. The first one was hiding in an abandoned subway tunnel. His name had been Kai, and he had been a soldier before the experiment. He was bigger than June, with skin that looked like black metal. When they found him, he was building something out of scraps and trash. What is he making? Hannah asked. Kai looked up when he heard voices. He made sounds that were almost like words, but not quite. He pointed to his creation, then to the sky, then made fighting motions with his arms. He's building a weapon, Sergeant Kim said. He's preparing to fight the invasion. Remembers his mission, Hannah said. He remembers that he's supposed to protect people. The second enhanced was found in a park, sitting by a pond. Her name had been Sora, and she had been an engineer. Her skin was silver and seemed to glow in the sunlight. She was arranging rocks in complex patterns around the water. Mathematical equations, Doctor, Mira said, studying the patterns. She's solving advanced physics problems using rocks and sticks. She's still thinking like an engineer, Hannah said. She's still trying to figure out how things work. The third enhanced was the most difficult to find. He was hiding in the old city in the maze of traditional buildings and narrow streets. His name had been Taman, and he had been an artist. His skin was white as snow, and he moved like a dancer. When they found him, he was painting, not with brushes and paint, but with his fingers and mud and berries. The painting covered an entire wall, and it was beautiful. It showed the city of Seoul, but not as it was now. It showed Seoul as it could be, with flying cars and floating buildings and people of all kinds living together in harmony. He's painting the future, Hannah said. He's painting what he hopes the world will look like after we win the war. They're all different, Director Wu said, but they're all still human in some way. They kept the best parts of themselves, Hannah said, the parts that made them who they were. The soldier kept his duty. The engineer kept her curiosity. The artist kept his dreams. And your brother kept his love for his family, Sergeant Kim said. That's what makes them heroes, Hannah said. They didn't just sacrifice their bodies. They sacrificed their old lives, their old selves, everything they used to be. But they held on to the things that mattered most. Director Wu was quiet for a long moment. 20 days until the invasion, he said finally. We need to prepare everyone. What do you mean, Hannah asked. We're going to tell the world the truth, Wu said. We're going to tell them about the invasion, about the enhanced, about everything. People deserve to know what's coming. Will they believe us? Hannah asked. They'll have to, Wu said. Because in 20 days, the war begins, and we're going to need everyone on our side. That night, Hannah sat with June on the roof of their apartment building. The city spread out below them, millions of lights twinkling like stars. Soon those lights might be the flashes of battle. Soon, everything might change. Are you scared? She asked him. June made a sound that meant yes. Then he pointed to her and made a questioning sound. I'm scared too, she said. But I'm not scared of losing. I'm scared of not being brave enough to fight. June reached out and touched her hand with one of his large fingers. The touch was gentle and warm. It said everything he couldn't put into words. We'll be brave together. We'll fight together. We'll win together. 20 days, Hannah said. 20 days to get ready for the biggest fight in human history. June pointed to the stars, then to himself, then to her. Whatever came from those stars, they would face it as a family. Enhanced and human, brother and sister, protectors of Earth. The preparation time was almost over. Soon, the real test would begin. The sky above Seoul turned black at exactly noon on Tuesday. It wasn't clouds or smoke. It was ships. Hundreds of them, each one the size of a city block, blocking out the sun. They hung in the air like giant spiders, silent and terrifying. Hannah stood on the roof of the military command center, watching the alien fleet through binoculars. Beside her, June was perfectly still, his crystal skin reflecting the strange green light that came from the ships. How many? She asked. June held up both hands, all 8 fingers spread wide. Then he did it again and again. Too many to count. Easily. Are they going to attack now? Hannah asked. June shook his head. He pointed to the ships, then made a gesture like things falling from the sky. Not yet, but soon. Director Wu's voice crackled through the radio on Hannah's belt. All enhanced teams, report to positions. The dropships are launching. Hannah looked through the binoculars again. Small objects were falling from the big ships like rain. As they got closer, she could see they were shaped like teardrops each. One about the size of a bus. Landing craft, Sergeant Kim said, climbing onto the roof. Each one probably carries 20 to 30 soldiers. How many are there? Hannah asked. He stopped counting at 500, Kim said. Coming. The first dropship hit the ground in the middle of Gangnam District. The impact shook the entire city, knocking out power lines and shattering windows. More ships landed throughout Seoul, each one creating a crater when it hit. Enhanced Team Alpha moved to Sector 7, Director Wu's voice said through the radio. Team Beta, Take Sector 12. That's us, Hannah said. She and June were Team Alpha, along with Kai and 2 human soldiers. They had trained together for 2 weeks, learning to work as a unit. They ran through the streets towards Sector 7. Behind them, the sky lit up with explosions as the military tried to shoot down the dropships. Most of the shots missed or bounced off the alien ships harmlessly. When they reached the landing site, the alien soldiers were already coming out. Hannah had seen pictures of them in the classified files, but seeing them in person was different. They were tall and thin, with gray skin, and too many joints in their arms and legs. They moved in perfect formation, like they were all controlled by one mind. Remember the plan? Hannah said into her radio. We split up. Kai takes the left side. June takes the right. The human soldiers provide support from a distance. And what do? Sergeant Kim asked. I coordinate, Hannah said. I tell them what I see from up here. She climbed to the top of a damaged building and set up her position. From here she could see the whole battlefield and communicate with both enhanced soldiers. June, there are 6 aliens coming toward your position from the north, she said. Kai, you have 8 on your left, but 3 more are trying to flank you from behind. The enhanced moved with incredible speed and power. June's crystal skin deflected the alien's energy weapons, and his 4 arms let him fight multiple enemies at once. Kai's metal skin made him nearly invulnerable, and his enhanced strength let him tear through alien armor like paper. But the aliens were smart. They adapted quickly to human tactics, and they realized their weapons couldn't hurt the enhanced. They started focusing on the human soldiers instead. They're targeting the humans, Hannah said. Everyone fall back to defensive positions. The battle went on for hours. All across Seoul, enhanced teams fought to hold back the alien invasion. The news reports showed similar battles in Tokyo, Beijing, New York, and London. The aliens were attacking every major city on Earth at the same time. We're holding them, Sergeant Kim said during a brief break in the fighting, but barely. They keep sending more soldiers. How are the other teams doing? Hannah asked. Enhanced Team Charlie is down, Kim said. Her human partners were killed, and the enhanced soldier went into a rage. He's fighting, but he's not responding to commands anymore. He lost his connection to humanity, Hannah said. Without his human partners, he's just a weapon now. What about Team Delta? June asked. His voice was getting clearer the more he practiced talking. Sora's team is doing well, Kim said. She figured out how to use the aliens' own technology against them. She's turning their weapons into traps. Team Echo, Hannah asked. Kim's face was grim. Taemin's team is in trouble. They're surrounded in the old city. The aliens have them cut off from any support. They have to help them, Hannah said. We can't leave our position, Kim said. If we do, the aliens will break through here. Then we'll have to split up, Hannah said. June, you stay here with Kai and hold the line. I'll take 2 soldiers and try to reach Taemin's team. No, June said. His voice was clear and firm. Too dangerous, I go with you. If you leave, we can't hold this position, Kim said. Then we need a new plan, Hannah said. She looked at the battlefield, thinking hard. The aliens are coordinated, right? They all follow the same commands? Yes, Kim said. They're like a hive mind. Then we need to cut off their communication, Hannah said. If we can find their command center and destroy it, maybe the rest of them will be confused enough for us to push them back. Where's the command center? Kim asked. Hannah looked. Up at the sky, the big ships were still hanging there, silent and dark.
Ow.
But one of them was different. It was larger than the others, and it had strange patterns of light moving across its surface. There, she said, pointing. The big ship in the center? That's where their leaders are. How do we reach it? Kim asked. We don't, Hannah said. But maybe we can bring it down to us. She explained her plan. It was dangerous and probably impossible, but it was their only chance. They would need all 4 enhanced working together, and they would need perfect timing. It's crazy, Kim said. Crazy enough to work, Hannah said. Radio all the enhanced teams. Tell them to fall back to the center of the city. We're going to make our stand at Seoul Station. Seoul Station was the biggest train station in the city, with a large open area in front of it. If they could draw all the aliens there, they might be able to set up the trap they needed. All teams, this is Alpha Command, Hannah said into the radio. Fall back to Sol Station. We're going to try something new. Over the next 2 hours, the enhanced teams fought their way through the city toward the station. It was the longest, hardest battle of the war so far. They lost 2 human soldiers and came close to losing Timon when his artistic mind got confused by the violence around him, but they made it. All 4 enhanced, along with 12 human soldiers gathered in the plaza in front of Sol Station. Around them, thousands of alien soldiers were closing in.
Out.
This is it, Hannah said. Everyone ready? Ready? Kai said. His voice was deep and metallic. Ready? Sora said. Her voice sounded like music. Ready, Timon said. His voice was soft and dreamy. Ready, June said. His voice was the clearest of all. And let's bring down that ship, Hannah said. The 4 enhanced stood in a circle, holding hands they had discovered during training that they could share their abilities when they were in physical contact. Kai's strength flowed into Sora's technical knowledge. Sora's understanding of alien technology flowed into Tamon's creative vision. Tamon's artistic imagination flowed into June's protective instincts. Together, they reached out with their enhanced senses toward the command ship hanging in the sky. They felt its power source, its control systems, its weaknesses, Hannah said. The 4 enhanced focused all their combined power on a single point deep inside the alien command ship. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the ship shuddered. Lights flickered across its surface. It began to tilt. It's working, Sergeant Kim said. The ship is losing power. But the effort was too much. The enhanced were pouring all their energy into the attack. Blood began to flow from their eyes, and mouths, their crystal and metal skin started to crack. Stop, Hannah said. You're killing yourselves. No, June said. Must finish. Must save everyone. The alien command ship tilted further. It was falling now, slowly but surely. The other ships in the fleet began to waver as their connection to the command ship weakened. The aliens are stopping, Kim said. They're not attacking anymore. They're just standing there, confused, because they lost their connection to the command ship, Hannah said. They don't know what to do without orders. The command ship hit the ground on the far side of the city with a crash that shook the entire planet. The explosion could be seen from space. All across Seoul, the alien soldiers stopped moving and stood perfectly still. We did it, Hannah said. We actually did it. But when she turned to celebrate with the enhanced, she saw that June had collapsed. His crystal skin was gray and lifeless. His breathing was shallow and fast. June, she said, kneeling beside him. June, stay with me? Did good? He asked. His voice was barely a whisper. You did amazing, Hannah said, tears streaming down her face. You saved everyone. You saved the whole world. Love you, little sister, June said. Always love you. I love you too, Hannah said. Don't leave me. Please don't leave me. But June's eyes closed, and his breathing stopped. The brother who had given up everything to protect his family and his world was gone. Around them, the war was ending. The aliens were retreating, their ships limping back into space. Humanity had won. The victory felt hollow to Hannah as she held her brother's still form. He's a hero, Sergeant Kim said softly. They all are. Heroes don't get to go home, Hannah said. Heroes don't get to see their families again. But they make sure other people can, Kim said. They make sure other families stay together. Hannah looked up at the sky. The alien ships were disappearing into the distance, defeated. Earth was safe. Humanity would survive. It was all because 4 people had been willing to sacrifice everything to protect those they loved. You, she whispered to the sky. Thank you for being my brother. 1 year after the war ended, Hannah stood in front of a massive statue in the center of Seoul. The statue showed 4 figures holding hands. Their faces turned toward the sky. The inscription at the base read, "The Enhanced Heroes of Earth." Hundreds of people had gathered for the memorial service. Some were soldiers who had fought in the war. Others were civilians who had been saved by the enhanced. Many were families of the volunteers who had given their lives to protect humanity. They were our children, Dr. Myra said, speaking to the crowd. They were our brothers and sisters, our friends and partners. They were human beings who chose to become something more so that all of us could remain human. Hannah looked up at the statue of her brother. The artist had captured his crystal skin perfectly, and somehow managed to show the kindness in his strange eyes. He looked like a guardian, strong and protective, but gentle. My brother June used to steal my ice cream, Hannah said when it was her turn to speak. He used to hide my toys and make me search for them. He used to tell me silly jokes that weren't funny, but I laughed anyway because he was my big brother. The crowd listened quietly. Many of them were crying. When the aliens came, he could have run away, Hannah continued. He could have hidden and let someone else fight, but he didn't. He stood up and fought because that's what big brothers do. They protect their little sisters. They protect their families. They protect everyone they love. Enhanced weren't monsters, she said. They were the best of us. They were what humans become when we choose love over fear, when we choose sacrifice over safety, when we choose to protect others instead of protecting ourselves. After the ceremony, Hannah walked to the training center where the new enhanced were being prepared. The government had started the program again, but this time it was different. This time, the volunteers knew exactly what they were getting into. This time, they had human partners from the very beginning. How are they doing? Hannah asked Director Wu. He looked older now, his hair gray, and his face marked by the weight of the war. Better than we hoped, he said, having human partners. During the transformation process, helps them keep their humanity. Your brother's sacrifice taught us how to do it right. How many volunteers do we have? Hannah asked. More than we can handle, Wu said. After the war, everyone wanted to help. Everyone wanted to be ready in case the aliens come back. Will they come back? Hannah asked. We don't know, Wu said. But if they do, we'll be ready. Hannah walked through the training center, watching the new enhanced learn to work with their human partners. The process was smoother now, gentler. The volunteers kept more of their original appearance, and their minds remained completely clear throughout. The transformation. Hannah, a voice called. She turned to see a young woman with silver skin and glowing eyes. It was Sora, one of the 3 enhanced who had survived the war. She looked healthier now, stronger. How are you feeling? Hannah asked. Good, Sora said. Different, but good. I've been working with the scientists to improve the enhancement process. We think we can make it even safer. That's wonderful, Hannah said. June would be proud. He is proud, Sora said. I can feel it sometimes when I'm working. It's like he's still here, still helping us. Double quotes, Hannah smiled. She felt the same way sometimes. When she was training new enhanced human teams, she could almost hear June's voice encouraging her. When she was scared or unsure, she could feel his presence, steady and comforting. I have something to show you, Sora said. She led Hannah to a laboratory filled with strange equipment. We've been studying the alien technology that was left behind. We think we can use it to explore space. Explore space? Hannah asked. Not to attack anyone, Sora said quickly. To learn. To discover. To maybe find friendly aliens who want to. Be our friends instead of our enemies. That sounds like something an engineer would think of, Hannah said. And something an artist would dream of, Sora said. Taman has been painting pictures of the worlds we might visit. They're beautiful. Hannah looked at the equipment. It was strange and alien, but somehow it felt hopeful. The technology that had been meant to destroy humanity was now being used. To help humanity grow and explore? What about Kai? Hannah asked. He's training the new enhanced soldiers, Sora said. He says they need to know how to fight, but also how to protect. Says the most important thing is to remember what you're fighting for. What are you fighting for? Hannah asked. The same thing your brother fought for, Sora said. Family, love, the chance for everyone to be happy and safe. That evening, Hannah sat in her room, looking at old photographs of her and June. Her parents were downstairs working together on a new project. They were designing better living spaces for the enhanced places where they could feel comfortable. And at home, I miss you, she said to the photographs. I miss your terrible jokes and your ice cream stealing and your silly faces. She picked up a tablet and began writing in her journal. She had been keeping a record of everything that happened during the war. Everything about the Enhanced, everything about the people who had sacrificed so much. Today I spoke at the memorial, she wrote. I told everyone about how you were still my brother, even after the transformation. I told them about how love is stronger than fear and how family is stronger than anything. I'm training new enhanced human teams now. I teach them what you taught me. I teach them that the Enhanced are still people, still capable of love and dreams and hope. I teach them that the bond between partners is what makes them strong. Mom and Dad are doing better. They don't cry as much anymore. They're proud of you, and they're proud of what you accomplished. They know that you saved not just our family, but every family on Earth. I think about you every day. I think about how brave you were, how you never gave up, how you always protected the people you loved. I try to be like you. I try to be brave and strong and kind. The world is different now. People aren't afraid of the Enhanced anymore. They see them as heroes, as guardians, as the best of what humanity can be. Children play games where they pretend to be enhanced, protecting their friends from imaginary monsters. I know you would like that. You always wanted to protect people, especially kids. You always said that children are the future, and that's why they're worth fighting for. I promise I'll keep telling your story. I'll keep telling everyone about the girl who claimed the beast was her brother and how she was right all along. I'll keep telling them that love is stronger than fear, that family is stronger than anything, that humans are capable of incredible things when they work together. I love you, big brother. I'll always love you. And I'll always be proud to be your little sister. Hannah closed the tablet and looked out her window at the city lights. Seoul was rebuilding, growing, becoming something new and wonderful. The scars of the war were healing, but the lessons of the war would never be forgotten. In the distance, she could see the training center where new, enhanced were learning to use their powers. She could see the research facility where scientists were studying alien technology. She could see the memorial where people came to remember the heroes who had saved them all. And sometimes, when the light was just right, she could see the faint outline of a figure standing guard over the city. A figure with crystal skin and 4 arms, watching over the people he had died to protect. "Good night, June," she whispered. "Thank you for being my brother. Thank you for teaching me that monsters are just people who have forgotten how to love, and that heroes are just people who remember what love means." The city slept peacefully, protected by the memory of those who had given everything to keep it safe. And in the morning, the work would continue. The work of building a better world. A world where humans and enhanced could live together in harmony. A world where love was stronger than fear. The girl had claimed the beast was her brother. She had been right. Because she had never stopped believing the world had been saved. The future was bright, and it belonged to all of them.